welcome to another story of our author's journey. I have here with me today Shelley-Anne Vidal. My name is Rasi Bamibadi. I'm a leadership coach, book coach, author, and speaker. I've published two bestsellers on Amazon called Lead in Your Truth and Heal on Your Terms. I am so excited to have Shelley here with me today. Shelley is a newly published author of You Only Need One Good Egg, Manifest in a Miracle. I am so excited to have you here. And Shelley, please introduce yourself to our audience.
Thank you so much, Razzie. I'm excited to be here as well and share a little bit about myself. So, as you know, I am an educator professionally. My daytime 9 to 5 job is teaching students how to navigate through their career journeys in Canada. Outside of that, I also facilitate equity, diversity, and inclusion focused training areas. And then I'm involved in a variety of different volunteer organizations that support community engagement and empowerment. I also have my own business, Act by Vidal, which stands for Affirming Community Together, where I focus on bringing community members together to uplift and motivate and inspire each other. That's kind of, and of course, I'm a mother of a beautiful little girl who is just over a year. She's almost 15 months. So yeah, that's me.
Oh, that's beautiful. Shelley, it's awesome to hear that you do so many different things. And I know when we first connected, there's just so many things that you do. And I'm like, I'm inspired, I'm inspired, I'm inspired. Like that's all that flows through. And I'm really curious to what motivated you to reach out for support with the construction process of your book, because I find you to be a very highly motivated person. To share with us, like, what motivated you to reach
Thank
out?
you. Thank you so much, Razzie. Well, first of all, I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would write a book. And I didn't think, it wasn't in my goal setting, let's say. When we met and you told me about just a little bit about yourself and that you'd written a book, it told me about it. And then through some of the work I also do with Kaiso Careers, which is Candid Convos, when we had you as a guest, and again, learning more about the books that you had written and then that you were also working on, I was like, wow, I was inspired by you. And then after having my daughter and thinking about the journey I went through to bring her into this world, it was not something that, again, if I think about 5 years ago, 10 years ago, that I thought it would be my reality. And I really did think it was worth sharing my experience and my story so other women could learn from it and hopefully be inspired. So that's why I decided to do that. And again, it wasn't in my mindset that I would do it. And when I learned about what you do, I was like, yeah, maybe. And you were just so encouraging. So I was like, why not? And you held me accountable, which was like the key for me being able to write it. You were a great accountability partner. So that's kind of how and why I got into it. And yeah, I didn't plan to be an author, but I am one, a published one for that matter.
It happened. It happened.
Yeah, it
It's
really
like
did.
I still like circle back to like our conversation and reflecting on that. I remember when you sent me a message, and it was Sunday morning when I was listening to your audio message, and you're like, I want to write a book. How can you? What can you help me with? And I still find it was just like so like out of this world, because I was in the middle of developing my book coaching program. And I was like, Shelley, I am in the process of doing this. Would you like to be my first client? And
Yeah.
and literally that's how everything set up. And I have you to be grateful for it, to being my first client and going through that process as well. What would you say was your moment of breakthrough in your book writing process to publishing?
Oh, I would say from the moment I said, I'm going to do this, I was like, okay, yeah, tunnel vision. Once that's kind of how my personality is. And just in the pre-writing itself of taking time to think about who is my audience and why I wanted to write the book, that's where it just kind of anchored me and grounded me in this process of writing a book, writing my book. And I circled back to that a few times, even when I was trying to figure out the title of the book, I went back to that why and who's my audience, and some of the words that were just kind of bubbling up when I was starting the process. Um, those were like some mini breakthroughs for me, for sure. When I saw the cover, the finalized cover, it's happening. This is real. And then receiving the proof, the physical copy. Oh my goodness. That was everything. That was everything. I was excited. I ripped open the package and I was like, yeah, this is it. So there were a few breakthroughs. I wouldn't say that there was just one. And another like huge breakthrough for me was when I started receiving some of those advanced praises. And because writing your book is a very vulnerable process. And when folks read what you've written and give their advanced praises and say like, wow, that really resonated with me. Like, wow, thank you so much for sharing that. And oh, I know somebody who would benefit from reading this book. Those were all breakthroughs for me. So again, I can't put my finger on just one. There were multiple breakthrough moments, I think, throughout the process for me.
Wow, wow, wow. That's a lot to take away for any author that's listening in. It's I just love how, like, the fact that you're like, I had multiple breakthroughs, it wasn't just one. And I want to emphasize like that importance of why we're writing, right? Like I know you went back to that so many different times because there's so many roadblocks that happen along the way. But when you're very aligned with, okay, this is why I'm doing this is why I'm putting this message out there, this is why I'm going through this vulnerable process to really share, like, to help more people, to help more women, and even like their partners, like through that process, right? I know it helped me a lot. Like I took different steps, like personally for like my life after reading You Only Need One Good Egg. And I'm excited to go back to it, like, from each chapter and remind myself like, okay, these are the different things like I need to look at in my own life. So I thank you for that. Anyone that gets the opportunity to read You Only Need One Good Egg will be very, very fortunate to get all that information.
Oh, thank you.
I do want to know if, so we think of a lot of authors out there that are stuck, either it's like in the phase of planning, writing, or hesitating to publish, or hesitating to open up the book proof that comes in the mail, because that has happened for different authors that I've worked with. What would be your advice to them, like in any stage you're stuck in when you reflect back on your journey?
I would say, yeah, there was definitely a moment for me where I was stuck. And that was when I first was going to post about the book on social media. Making my first post was the hardest for me.
Yeah.
I think that's when I was like, okay, people are going to know that I wrote this book. People are going to know part of my story. Oh my goodness. Like, they're really going to know it.
Yeah.
And because it's really, I think my story is very personal.
It is.
And it's that different level of vulnerability. For me, I'm known to be a pretty private person. Like I don't post a lot of stuff about myself or even my daughter on social media. So Yeah, that was a hard one to like get over. And the way I got through it was actually connecting with a fellow author that you know. And we
Yeah.
kind of were just like, oh my gosh, like this is happening, because we were both publishing close to the same time.
Yeah.
And it was just like, okay, yeah, we got to do this. And knowing that you and I had a marketing plan, and I still felt like I needed to be accountable to you. I'm huge with accountability partners, and you were amazing for me in that with that hat on. And so I was like, well, I told Razzie I was going to post, between 12 and 3 on Sunday. I got to make this post. And I was like, okay, okay. And it was like just before 3, I think it was like 2:45 or whatever it was. And I was like, okay, I'm hitting the button. I'm hitting the button. And I was like, okay, it's out there. And after that first one, it was like, it was like the snowball effect. It just kept going and going and going. And I was like, I'm in it. I can't get off of it now. I just got to keep going. The train is gone. It's out there for the world to see.
No turning back. No turning back.
Exactly. And I'm glad. I'm really like excited that there is no turn back, right? So, yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's really beautiful, Shelley. Yeah. It's I hear, raise that accountability, right? Like, and for the most part with writers, we know what holds us back. Like we're very aware of that. And we know what holds us back from pushing that start button. So if we can raise that accountability, either it's like with another author, right? Or a coach, or maybe it's a mentor, go do it. Do what you got to do to help you push start. All right. Well, Shelley, before we do wrap up, any last words, and how can people find you? And I know your paperback is out. You got to go get it. All right.
I would say, and I've said this to a few folks and I referred them to you, Razzie. I think that there's so much power and strength in sharing our stories. It's a way for us to connect. And our stories may be unique. We may feel like they're unique to us, and they're our own lived experiences. And at the same time, those unique experiences may parallel other people's lives. And so when we share our stories, sometimes, again, it normalizes and validates some of our feelings and our emotions that we're going through and living through in our lives. And if you've got it in you, if you've got that story bubbling inside, gnawing at you, and you're thinking like, oh, I kind of want to, I say, like, talk to Razzie. She's amazing. She lays out the plan so clearly. She's just such a ray of sunshine, and bubbly and awesome and motivating and inspiring. And so do your thing. Absolutely. Share your story with others who can definitely benefit. And for some, it's also a cathartic process just to get their stories out, right? So for whatever your reason, whatever your why is, just do the thing. If it's in you and it's in your heart, share your story. And people can definitely connect with me on LinkedIn. That's like the easiest way to connect with me. You can also visit my website, actbyvidal.com. Yeah, I'm excited to continue to be on this journey and connect with other folks who want to connect.
Yeah. That's so excited. And you only need one good egg. I will put the link below or above so that you can go get your own copy. And it might not be just for you. It could be somebody that you know that's going through it. Read the cover, read the back of the cover as well to determine like who would benefit from this book. So remember, the name is You Only Need One Good Egg, Manifesting a Miracle by Shelley-Anne Vidal. Thank you so much, Shelley, for joining me today. And yeah, see you all soon.
Thank you.